You know,
Cut it. This has been a very interesting year, at least for me. I just wanted to say thank you all so much. As the old world begins a new year, I just wanted to bring this up that this has got to be the most amazing thing that has happened to me content wise. I really started off this channel as like a gaming channel. I didn't really have much other gaming content though, other than just gaming commentary and personal music videos. So what changed? Well, around March, maybe February, my English teacher during half of the junior year semester made us read two books. Of course, not at the same time. It just so happened we read two books that semester. But we read Death of a Salesman and The Things They Carried. Death of a Salesman is kind of like a screenplay with a hardcover about a businessman who is just pretty much going crazy. And as time goes by, we start figuring out like what's going on and all this crazy stuff. It's very interesting, and I highly suggest reading it. Not only that, but I also highly suggest The Things They Carried. It is a book about what it's like to be an American soldier before, during, and after the Vietnam War. They are very interesting books, and I'd recommend giving them a shot. But while we were reading Death of a Salesman, some of the students got to play as some of the characters within the book, and I got the chance to play as Biff, especially during a pinnacle point, which I won't spoil it, but it starts unraveling the story quite a bit. I was willing to portray the character in such a way that my English teacher came up to me and told me that I should be a voice actor. And so, in March, I decided to give it a shot. At the time, I was making memes. I kind of just gave up making gaming content, so this was a nice change of pace. Make more memes, but this time it's more original because I'm voice acting them. Starting with the Revengeance status video, which got fairly a lot amount of views. For its time, it was probably good because, it was when Metal Gear Rising was getting an insane amount of memes about it, so it wasn't very surprising. And at the time, I didn't even have a port to plug in my headset microphone into my phone, and I didn't even think about using the closet until later. So I just straight up just screamed into my I straight up screamed into my phone microphone while I was pacing around my room, this very reverby, echoey room. I mean, it worked. After all, it was kind of like a deep chasm where they were. It was like they was like surrounded by robot parts, so there'd be a lot of reverbance there, but like I could have added that post edit. But whatever. It got me this far, didn't it? Then we read The Things They Carried, which, after being hyper fixated in script writing and voice acting and all that, I'd say I volunteered the most out of anyone in that class to read that book, mainly because I've been wanting to read The Things They Carried, and also I was getting hyper fixated into voice acting, so it was kind of a thing to do. And of course, my English teacher kind of encouraged me, like, well, he didn't really encourage me. It was like a simple suggestion that gave me the inspiration. And so I took that opportunity and ran with it. Around that time, I discovered that Deltarune Chapter 2 was out and it was free. Because at the time, I thought you had to pay for it. I was just assuming Chapter 1 was free, so that way you get a feel for the game, and then that way you could pay for Chapter 2. But no, Chapter 2 was already free, so I gave that a shot, and while being hyper-fixated on voice acting, I thought it would be really fun to voice the characters while I play. I mean, I'm not recording anything. I don't really have the equipment to capture what I'm doing on my Switch because I didn't have a computer at the time, and I didn't have a microphone set up to where I could do that and record myself doing it. So I basically just did this on my own without any regard or reason. I just thought I'd do it. It was a very fun experience, but very hard on my voice because I went like 6 hours into the game just doing different voices several times, and then like just got like very like sore because of it. Well, not sore, but like my voice was very fatigued from it. My throat could not handle it for a specific amount of time. So, gave it a break, came back to it tomorrow, beat the game, and then realized, man, Deltarune is so much better than what it was. Because after Chapter 1, it was like, yeah, Chapter 1's cool, but it's not as free as Undertale. But that's when you realize that after Chapter 2, Deltarune's meant to be its own thing with Undertale elements. It's not meant to be compared to Undertale, because it's a different game, quote unquote. Then I figured out Snowgrave exists, which was very interesting. I thought that was cool. I thought it was really cool that Toby Fox made it kind of restricting in the first chapter just to get you accustomed to the rules of the game, of how you're supposed to play it. And then Chapter 2 just gives you the opportunity to break those rules, which I find very fun. And that encouraged me to go back to Chapter 1, because Chapter 2, after beating Spamton several times, I was like, you know what? I can beat Spamton. It's been almost a year since I've beaten Jevil. Might as well give this a shot again. Kept at it, boom, done. Defeated Jevil, I am a boss. And I just found an unnecessary amount of love for all these characters. So much so that I actually made a series called Deltarune Rehearsed, where I made impressions of what these characters would sound like. Since I couldn't really do feminine voices, Susie was more of a guy than a girl, because I couldn't really do it. Susie is pretty much the Tank Dempsey of Deltarune in my version, in my impressions anyway. I can't really do feminine voices. I kind of stopped after Sham, because that was the point where I was like, you know what? I don't really want to just keep doing this. I want to actually make skits of these characters. I kept going at it. I kept making memes and skits of these characters. And then eventually I ran into Kit Blush. She has helped me out a lot. And based off of her Discord and our many interactions, I've helped her out plentiful for this upcoming project. I won't say what it is. If you want to know more about it, you got to go follow her Instagram and go join her Discord. Because I ain't saying shit. I ain't the director. I'd hate if I was the director and someone else was spewing my beans. But anyways, I ran into Kit Blush. I loved her art. I followed her. Started liking some of her fan art. And then she opened a Discord called the Shaman Jevil Cult Discord. At this time, I was starting to grow. These two characters started to grow on me. And I think that's mainly because their backstory is so open-ended that pretty much it is all grabs for any writer when it comes to making fan fictions. There's no, backstory. They have little to no backstory other than Jevil went insane, so Sham had to lock him up. And then he went crazy over and over again for hundreds of years. That's basically the only backstory you really get. For the hundreds of years part, I just made that just came out of my brain. I don't even know how long he's been locked up. You don't even know. So it was very easy to write backstory for these characters because their backstory is just so open-ended. And then I joined the Discord. It was kind of rough around the edges for me because I've never really used Discord for what it was. I used Discord to talk to friends, but these are completely new people. I don't know, and I don't know Kit Blush. I don't know any of the people who have joined prior to me. I don't know anyone here. But eventually I kind of broke out of my shell after a couple of days and then posted a meme of Sham and Spamton. And I thought, you know what? That's exactly what I'm doing. I made a meme and I'm going to voice act this meme because it's very funny. It was basically the recreation of the SpongeBob fly meme. And then I decided to voice it and posted it.
We've come for your...
Get the fuck out of my shop! And not only did people have a good laugh at it, they also loved my impression of these guys. Seriously, I didn't think I'd see such an overwhelming amount of positive responses to that meme. So many people actually liked it to the point that Kit caught wind of it and animated it.
We've come for your...
Get the fuck out of my shop! That was when we started helping each other out and started making, she mainly helped me out because at the time I didn't have a computer, and whenever I wanted to voice Jevil, I would have to go to her and be like, hey, can you take this audio file and bit crush it for me so that way I could actually have the Jevil voice? Until eventually around August, early September, I got my own computer. Yeah, Kit has helped me out so much. She's inspired me to keep making more content. Around, like, even before I met Kit, I was gonna write, like, this giant, ambitious story for one of the characters, and I didn't know how to finish it because it was so ambitious that I didn't even know if I could handle it. I was like 20 pages in, and I was like, I don't know if I want to keep going. Like, there's so many things I have to revise and so many things I have to redo, and like, I'm not even finished with the script yet. And then I never got finished with it up until uh end of September, early October. That was when, around October 20th, I released Sham's Old Tale. At the time, Kit opened commissions, which made it even more possible of how many views that video has. It is December 21st as of recording this, so for all I know, it probably already reached 10,000 views, but man, that number's just insane for how small my channel is. Hey guys, post-editing Scythe here. Excuse the mic quality and the potential background noise. I'm not at my house currently. As of recording this, I hit 10,000 views on Sham's Old Tale. I can't thank you all enough for this. I've never had such an ambitious project turn out so well. I genuinely thank you all, and you guys are the main reason why I continue making the content I do today. And I don't plan to stop anytime. So thank you all, and back to the video. And in inspiration to the amount of overwhelming responses from that video, I decided to make a sequel, Sham's Old Tale 2, and actually managed to get another voice actor in, which was great. So far, it doesn't really have that many views. I don't expect it to have that many views, considering how recent it is. Hopefully, it gets as big as Sham's Old Tale 1. So, I just want to say to everyone watching this, thank you so much. I know this video seems kind of everywhere, and it is. I don't have a script for this. I just wanted to come up here and say thank you so much, because without you all, I probably wouldn't even be doing this anymore. I want to thank Kit. I want to thank some of the friends that encouraged me along the way. Yeah, Flip Zug Zug has been a very good friend of mine who has kind of really inspired me more, basically, because we're both very big nerds on Deltarune. We're just a bunch of nerds in general, but Ashton really helped me out a lot when it came to making these skits. So yeah, I just want to say thank you all so much, and I guess I'll see you all some other time. I mean, here comes 2023. It's hard to believe it's already here, but here's to another year. See you, everyone.